Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Wisdom Wednesday. So today I'm in my room, except I decided that I really felt the guidance to do this live standing up and in front of this beautiful tapestry. So that is what we are doing for today for our Wisdom Wednesday. So remember, with our Wisdom Wednesday, this is all about a generalized spiritual discussion where I just pick a topic that goes with the energy for this week, and I pick a topic and a tool, and then I just share that topic and tool here. I share my thoughts about it and ways that we can utilize the tool in whatever way, shape, or form. So today, hello, Donna. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So today we're talking all about appreciation. And I'm really excited to talk about the power and utilization of appreciation in our lives and how it can improve our relationships, how it can improve our relationships not only with others, but with our finances, how it can actually generate that feeling of abundance. So, appreciation and gratitude are super important. And if you can't really go with the word grateful, that's okay. That's why I like to use the word appreciation because there's a big it's not a big difference, but there is a difference in appreciating and gratitude and just kind of the energy that they produce. The appreciation gets you to that point of gratitude. It's just a different way of going about it. So when it comes to appreciation, it's not about trying to make yourself. And I want to be so clear on that appreciation and gratitude is not about making yourself feel it. It's about allowing yourself to feel it. And once again, big difference. I have to feel grateful. I have to appreciate this. Or I can feel grateful. I can I can appreciate this in whatever way, shape, or form. And so that's really where we want to come from is I am allowing myself to appreciate everything that's in front of me. I'm allowing myself to appreciate all that comes to me in whatever way, shape, or form. Now, for me, in the morning, something that I do that I learned from Abraham Hicks is a rampage of appreciation. So I get up, go to the bathroom, get my, drink of water, and then after I am done drinking my water, I will sit there and I'll be like, okay, what do I appreciate in this moment? What can I show my appreciation for? Is it for my nice warm bed? Is it for my nice soft bed? Is it for the fact that I have a house that I can live in? Is it the fact that I have not only do I have a house, but that, good afternoon, thanks for joining, thanks for being here. Not only do I have a house, but it's centrally heated. And not only that I get to have my dog who sleeps with me every night and keeps me warm and gives me that sense of love. Those are all things that I can appreciate in that moment. But like I said, it's not about making myself appreciate it. It's about feeling it. And that's really the whole key to manifestation and intention work and all those other things in prosperity is you have to feel it. It's not just about saying it. It's not just about, okay, yeah, I appreciate that I have a bed. I appreciate this. We don't want to sound flat about it. We want to actually feel it. And you can feel it in your body, feel the emotion well up. And what you're doing as that emotion wells up, then you're expressing it. And we have to allow ourselves to express it authentically. Not from that place of, oh, I have to do this because, it's spiritually sound or, it's part of my daily routine. No, you can practice appreciation everywhere. And I actually want to tell you a personal story about appreciation and how, I utilized its power. So yet last night, whatever reason, I was craving a vanilla ice cream cone with sprinkles from Dairy Queen. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get it. So I go there. There's no one in the line. There's like 2 cars in front of me, right? And so I go there. I'm super excited. I order it. And then the two cars in front of me, there's this van, and we're just like sitting there, and it's been like 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, no worries. Now it's been 3 minutes. Okay, now we're getting on 5 minutes here. Now I start to see myself kind of going into that judgment, and I stopped myself and I turned off the radio and I said, you know what? This is a beautiful opportunity for me to, instead of going into judgment, instead, let me go into appreciation. So I closed my eyes and I was like, okay, what can I appreciate right now in this moment? Well, I appreciate that I had the ability to get into the car, into the nice warm car, and come to Dairy Queen and have the money to, and I appreciate that I had the $3.26 to get a cone. I appreciate the fact that I was able to drive there. I appreciate the fact that the car was warm. I appreciate the fact that we have heated seats in our car. I appreciate that there are people in there working hard to get everything, out and ready. I appreciate the fact that I get the opportunity to sit here and switch my vibration and switch the focus and move to appreciation, move to something higher, something better. I appreciate that I get to sit here in silence and do so. I appreciate that I get to then turn on the radio if I want and pick whatever radio station I want to listen to. I appreciate that. And so as I'm doing this appreciation, then, that car moves forward. And then the next car in front of me, then, they're taking a little bit. And then I pull up and the guy hands me my cone. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I was going to hand him my card. And he goes, nope, person in front of you already paid for it. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, person in front of you already paid for your cone. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And then just another thing for me to appreciate. Wow, I really appreciate that people are kind. Wow, I so appreciate that, this person felt the call to pay for my cone. Like, thank you. And there's that appreciation, and it wells up inside of you. And then you have even more to appreciate, because here's the thing with appreciation. It can never be used up. Hey, Shirley, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So it can never be used up. You can never use up your appreciation. It just grows. There's more and more and always more to be appreciative of. And you can go on a rampage of appreciation every day, anytime, anywhere, because really you're just doing it up here. And as you're doing it up here, you're shifting the energy, you're shifting your body posture, you're shifting everything. And so how can we begin to use or utilize the power of appreciation in our relationships? Let's just talk about interpersonal relationships. How can we start to, whoops, there goes my ring. That's okay. But how can we start to use appreciation in our relationships? Well, one great way is, if your partner, your wife, your husband, your significant other, your life partner, whatever you want to call it, cooks you something, appreciate it. And it doesn't have to be, big, oh my God, this is the most delicious thing you've ever cooked for me. It doesn't have to be like that. Just really show your appreciation. Thank you. Thank you for cooking this for me. Like, I appreciate that you took the time out of your day to prepare this meal for us. And you're going to start to see how you appreciating them starts then for them appreciating you and what you do. And then it's this collaboration. And you really just start unconsciously appreciating one another. That's another way that you can start to bring romance back into the relationship, is because, when you're with someone for a long period of time, 20, 30, 15, 20, 30 years, you start to become complacent. And we get that way in any aspect of our lives. We start to get complacent. And what we want to do to avoid that complacency is to start that appreciation. Okay, what can I appreciate right now in this moment? What is there for me to be grateful for? And once again, not from a sense of I have to, but from a sense of I get to, I can. This enlivens me. This helps me to feel good. Because once again, remember, that's the whole key to manifestation, is to feel good, to feel happy. And because remember, the more we appreciate something, the universe, receives that rocket of intention, receives that frequency, receives that vibration. And it says, oh, okay, so you're appreciating? Wonderful. it's not that the universe gives you more to appreciate. It's more that your mind opens up to the infinite that is in front of the infinite things for you to appreciate. It's just more in your awareness because you are more in that mindset. And so it seems like, wow, these blessings are just rolling in. The blessings were already there. It's just you are no longer in a state of resistance. So, since you're not in that state of resistance, you're just in that state of appreciation, that state of receiving. That's why more things are going to come to you. That's why more things seem to come to you. That's why the relationship seems to get better because you're in that state of appreciation. You're not in a state of resistance. You're not in a state of like I should or I have to. You're just there to receive it. You're just there to embody that. And it just feels so good. And that's really what I have learned. I mean, today, another great example. It was like -10 this morning. And, my dog needs to go out. And so I was getting my clothes on and I've already started to feel myself go into that negative, judgment. Oh, it's so cold outside and I don't like when it's cold. And I was like, you know what? Stop. We're not going to do this because you're already deciding. For me, once again, this is just my belief. I'm already deciding what it's going to be like, how I'm going to feel. I don't want to feel that way. So how can I begin to shift it? Once again, I go into appreciation. Well, I appreciate that I have nice warm clothes to wear. I appreciate that I even have the ability to go outside at all. And I appreciate that I have a beautiful neighborhood to walk through. I appreciate that it's quiet. I appreciate I get to see the sunrise. I appreciate that I get to see the colors of the sky shift and change colors. I appreciate that it only has to be 15 minutes. I appreciate that I get to come back home into a nice warm house. I appreciate that then I get to have a delicious breakfast that I enjoy, that's warm, not only warm to the touch, but warms me on the inside. Wow. So much to appreciate, so much to feel grateful for, so much. And I'm not saying that, you have to do that all the time. It's just something that I practice. And as I practice it, I begin to see how it is shifting and changing my thoughts and my responses to things. Instead of being like, ugh, so annoying. Instead, I can be like, okay, like instead of going into that, because what is that going to do? Nothing. It's not going to solve anything being in that energy. All it's going to do is just make me be in that energy. And then I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to do it and blah, 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 blah. I got to just step into that appreciation. And so that's how we can begin to utilize that power of appreciation. We begin to utilize it by practicing it on a consistent basis. I practice it in the morning and then I practice it again in the evening. Both of those practices allow me to wake up and like start my day appreciating everything and then to go to sleep and appreciate everything that happened throughout the day. And, we're really good at appreciating like the big things, the big blessings. Let's also start appreciating the little things, like being able to go get ice cream. Let's start appreciating the little things, like maybe your partner did the dishes for you, or maybe they left you, like when you came home, they just listened to you, talk about your day and how hard it was and how you just didn't like it. And they're just sitting there listening. They're not offering advice. They're not trying to make it better. They're just compassionately there listening to you. Wow, I really appreciate that. Wow, how good does that feel to just appreciate those little things, the little gestures. And like I said, it starts to steamroll. It starts to pick up steam because what are you doing? You are opening your mind to those possibilities. And, for those of you that follow me on a consistent basis, you saw my post this week about optimism. Optimism is not about thinking positive all the time. It's about being open and willing to see the positive. And if you can't see the positive, or if you're feeling like, I just can't find anything to appreciate in this moment, that's okay. We take that step back and we ask Spirit, what would you have me do here? Or Spirit, show me how to look at this differently. Show me a new way of thinking. Once again, opening ourselves up. That's what appreciation and gratitude do. They open us up. Because if we look at appreciation, we appreciate and are grateful for things that we value. Okay? So if you are appreciating something, you are valuing it. So the more you appreciate something, you're saying is the more you value that thing. And so that opens us up to a whole new world of possibilities as well. Because how much do you appreciate yourself? Like, do you appreciate yourself? Do you appreciate the gifts that you bring to the world? Do you appreciate your contribution to the world? And if you don't, start today. Wow, I really appreciate that. I can bring a smile to someone's face. Hello, hello, Monica. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that I'm able to, be the presence of the alternative. I am appreciative that I have the ability to bring peace, to someone. Whatever the case may be, appreciate, value yourself, value your contribution, and value others' contributions as well. That's what we start to see. And so when you appreciate, the little gestures that people do for you or that you do for people, you're saying, even though they may be small, you value them and that they're valuable to you. Once again, you appreciate them. And so now let's see, how can we begin to utilize the power of appreciation when it comes to prosperity and abundance? Because we all know that's something that a lot of us tend to struggle with, prosperity and abundance. Well, you can start appreciating that you have the money to pay your bills, because you're appreciating that you have the ability to do that. You're appreciating that you have the ability to provide. Wow, I really appreciate that I have the ability to provide. That's beautiful, Shirley. I'm so glad that you appreciate the small things, and more of us need to. So I appreciate, my job. I appreciate the income that it brings me. I appreciate the fact that it's easy and effortless for me to do. I appreciate my coworkers. I appreciate the people that I work with. I appreciate the money that I get in return for the valuable service that I provide. I am so appreciative of that, or I'm so grateful for that in whatever way, shape, or form. And so that's the way that we begin to open up to that prosperity. Now, the other thing that I want to touch on when it comes to appreciation is it brings us in to the now moment. That's the other big key here, because yes, can you appreciate things in the past? Of course you can. Can you appreciate things in the future? You can. But it's so much more powerful when you appreciate what is now, what is already happening in front of you. And that's really the beauty of appreciation, is it brings you back to that now moment. And it brings you back and says, okay, like what is this current thing that I am appreciating? And, what am I appreciating? Where is that thing? And it, like I said, it brings you back right here, right now. So maybe you're worrying about the future and you're like super worried. You can stop. Okay, what can I appreciate right now that's right in front of me? That's it. How simple is that? Like, how simple? What a simple way of really reprogramming ourselves, being like, okay, I'm seeing, I'm going into fear about the future. I'm seeing the future in a fearful way. You know what? What's one thing I can appreciate right now? And then you find that one thing, and then what's the second thing, third, fourth, fifth, and then you start to go on that rampage, and you're just in the now moment. You have now entered into the now. And as you enter into that now moment, guess what happens? You're letting go of the worry, you're letting go of the stress, and as you let go of the worry, you let go of the stress. That's when you're really letting the situation go, and you're letting the divine handle it for you and through you. How beautiful. How simple. Isn't it just, that's what I love about talking about spiritual tools and, utilizing their effectiveness in life, is because they're super duper easy. It's just because they're so easy, we forget to do them. It's because they're so simple, we forget to do them. And so that's why I love talking about them, because it gives us that reminder to, okay, let me step into this. Let me do this simple and easy task. Or maybe you're feeling like, you're going back to the past and you're starting to dwell in maybe some guilt and shame from the past. Of course, we recognize that, we acknowledge it, Just like we do with the fear of the future. We recognize it and we acknowledge it. And then we're like, okay, but I don't want that. I don't want to be in that place because that place is not serving me. So what do I need to do? I need to come back into the now, because what happens in the now? All problems are solved in the now. Because in the now moment, I'm not coming from then, or I'm not coming from there. I am simply allowing myself to receive the information in this moment, because that's where the divine solves things. And so once again, what can I appreciate? What can I do? So, and I understand that sometimes it is, when we are in those states, it can be a challenge for us to come into appreciation. And the reason that it becomes a challenge is because we are stuck in that fear. We're kind of stuck in that vibration. We're stuck in those thinking, because, those thoughts that we're thinking, they start to attract, or we start to think more thoughts like them. And so to kind of put the brakes on that system and then shift gears, it takes us a little bit of practice. And so that's all that's asked of you, is just to practice, just to try. And then it's to become as simple and effortless and easy as breathing. Once again, what a beautiful thing to appreciate. You're breathing right now. You're watching me and you're breathing. What another beautiful thing to appreciate. You have the ability to be on your phone right now and watch this. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something to appreciate? That you have the ability to do this, that you have technology in front of you that allows you to interact in this way. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it bring you right here, right now? Like I said, it's not always going to be like right there, but you can find things to appreciate. You can find, and it's not about practicing, putting rose-colored sunglasses on. That's not what I'm suggesting. You see what's in front of you. You acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling. Then as you acknowledge it, you're like, okay, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling angry. I acknowledge this. But is this where I want to continue to be? Is this vibration, is this feeling serving me? No. Do I need to hold on to it? No. So let the emotion, which is energy in motion, and what is energy but thought? let this thought run its course. And then after it's kind of run its course, let me then shift. Okay, it's run its course. I don't need to relive it. I don't need to redo it. I don't need to continuously beat the drum of it. I see it. I acknowledge it. Now what am I ready for? I'm ready to shift. How am I going to shift? Well, I can't go from, the bottom of the mountain to the very top of the mountain. Not yet. I'm not there. And that's okay. So what can I do to begin to climb up that mountain? Well, it's very simple. Let me start with appreciation. Let me start with gratitude. Let me go to that next vibration, that next emotional state that I want to be at. I want to get back to happiness. I want to get back to joy. Okay, so let me start with appreciation, because that's always going to bring me back into the now moment. Not only is it going to bring me back into the now moment, it's also going to show me all the blessings that are in front of me. So let me see here. Whoops. Okay. So that is the beauty of appreciation. That's the beauty of gratitude. It is a shift, and it's going to help you climb up that vibrational ladder, or that thought ladder, or the emotional ladder, however you want to put it. That's what it's going to help you to do. But we have to use it, and we have to use it consistently. It's not just, well, I'm feeling sad, so I should appreciate something. It's like, okay, let me appreciate something every day. Keep doing you, boo. I appreciate you. Oh, well, thank you. And so that is the beauty of appreciation. And that's all that I really have to offer for the value and utilization of appreciation, is just use it, why we should use it. So let's kind of do a quick little review. So we use appreciation and gratitude to help us come into the now moment, to improve our relationships, to improve our mindset, to improve, oh, well, thank you. Thank you both thank you for those. I thank you for that appreciation. I appreciate that you appreciate it. And so it can improve our relationships, not only our interpersonal relationships, but also our relationship with money. The more we appreciate what we can do with the money. We're not so much appreciating the money, we're appreciating what we can do with the money or what the money allows us to continue to do. So be very clear about that because we're not valuing the money in and of itself. Oh, okay. So there's a channeling coming through. I'm going to allow that to come through. So lucky for everyone who is here, we get to have the Palladians come through. Great exact good day. This is the Palladian Collective here. Such a pleasure it is to speak to you this day of your time. And we are so excited to be talking about this topic of appreciation. Isn't it wonderful to be able to appreciate? So we really want to come where the channel was, all right? With this idea of appreciation, all right, we want to add to it. When you are appreciating, all right, you're not so much appreciating the item, okay? You're appreciating the content, not the form. Okay, so the form is, oh, I'm appreciating the money and I'm appreciating the cars and so forth and so on. And once again, that's a wonderful place if you want to start there. But what we really want to do is we want to come into appreciation about the content. All right, so what do I appreciate that the money can do for me? What am I appreciating about the car? I'm appreciating that it brings me freedom. What am I appreciating about the money? That it allows me to travel, that it allows me to do all of these wonderful things. Yes? Yes. That's what we are in appreciation of. We're not in so much appreciation of, oh, all right, I have this Bugatti or I have $1 trillion. We're in appreciation of what the content is. All right, what can it do for us? So let's take, for example, your partner, it's already an example the channel's given, but your partner cooks you a meal, okay? So you're not so much appreciating the meal, okay? Regardless, yes, it may be delicious, it may be wonderful, and you can, of course, appreciate the sensations, the beautiful taste. Maybe they cooked you a steak. So the beautiful taste of the meat and the butter and the parsley and the rosemary, all those beautiful textures, all those beautiful smells. And you can appreciate, you're not so much appreciating, oh, that they just took their time to do this. You're appreciating the love. You're appreciating the love that the meal was prepared with. That's the content. That's what we want to appreciate. That's where we want to be. Yes, that's where we want to be with this, okay? And so let's take, for example, the example of someone held the door for you. Once again, you're not appreciating the person holding the door. You're appreciating the love that has prompted that person to hold the door. Wow, I can really appreciate that I get to see how much the universe loves me. Wow, I get to see that. I so appreciate this message of love. Now, of course, yes, can we appreciate that the person stood there and they held the door for us in the form? Yes, but like we said, we want to appreciate more of the content, not so much the forms of it. Now, yes, as we said, when it comes to the car, yes, you can appreciate the smooth lines and the color and the textures, the leathers, the heating, the cooling, all those beautiful things. But once again, why are you appreciating the color? Let's really look at that. Let's take a deeper look of the content. Well, the color, you may be appreciating that color because maybe it reminds you of something. Maybe it reminds you, let's say it's a beautiful sunshine yellow. And it just reminds you of happiness. Every time you see that color, you just smile. So that's why you really like the color. Maybe you're loving the shape because it's about flow. And you're like, wow, I can so appreciate this aerodynamic design, the way that the air flows over it. Are you seeing our point that we're trying to make? It's all about the content, all about the content, all about the content. That's where we want to be with this, in our appreciation. And so we also want to take a moment to also talk about stepping into the vibration or the emotion, okay? The energy and motion of appreciation or gratitude, all right? Now, a lot of us will begin this process with lip service. And lip service is simply just saying it. We don't want to say it, we want to feel it. We want to embody it. It's not just, oh, I appreciate this or I appreciate that. No, it's feeling it within yourself. Now, when we say feeling it within yourself, what we are referring to is, you can call it the mind-body complex. You can call it the physical form. You can call it the vessel. You can call it whatever you wish, but that's where we want you to feel it. All right, so that way you get used to that feeling. And then what you can begin to do is you can begin to activate that feeling, because now you know what it feels like. Now you know what it feels like within that physical vessel. And so then you can begin to say, all right, well, I want to activate that within myself. And you can remember that feeling. All right, and you see where we're referring to within the body, the heart. All right, because that is the center of emotion. That's where humanity, the super consciousness of humanity, has placed the feelings. We say the heart, okay? And so does the heart actually feel? No. The heart is just the symbol for love, for emotion. And so we want to start feeling that appreciation within that heart and then letting it spread. Not just keeping it in the heart. We want to spread that appreciation. Because remember, think about this. If you have a piece of bread, all right, let's say you have a piece of a French bread, a baguette. Yes, a baguette. And so you have a baguette and you have this piece of butter and you stick the butter on there. Well, there's only butter in one little spot unless you spread it. Right? You spread it around. So as you are out and about, spreading that appreciation, because as you spread that appreciation, what you're doing is you're helping others to align themselves with appreciation or with a higher vibrational state. Yes, yes. All right. We thank you so much for allowing us to come through this day of your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We so appreciate the time. Yes. Okay, so that was our channeling there. So, Ron, after all these years, I have always appreciated you, is the knowledge and the clarity I have gained. Oh, well, thank you, Shirley, and thank you, Donna. I appreciate all of you who come and you support me and you share and you like and you comment and you you share, you like, you comment. I appreciate the love, because the content of, you saying, all these beautiful things it's love. You're giving me love, and I appreciate the love that you are giving me. So I thank you so much. I appreciate all of you who come, even if you just like a post, even if you just share it real quick, if you just put a little comment, I appreciate those things. And I thank you so much for the love that is behind each one of those gestures. It's not so much the words are beautiful, the words are fantastic, and I appreciate them, but it is the content, as we've just heard, it is the content behind the words that I truly enjoy and appreciate and savor. And that's, I think, another big thing, like, let's savor appreciation. Can we do that? Can we savor it just for a minute? And I guess I want to set forth to you an opportunity for growth, a challenge, if you will. And I want to challenge you to have rampages of appreciation. I want to challenge you to practice appreciation for just 3 days. Just starting today, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Practice that appreciation and see how it shifts, see how it changes your thinking, your attitude. Just see what it does. What do you have to lose? Nothing, but you have everything to gain.